Hey spiritual rebels, welcome back to Spiritual Rebel Tarot. Today I'm going to be doing another pick a card reading. This is going to be a love pick a card reading, and just focusing on how they currently feel about you. So you kind of plug in whoever they is to you in a romantic sense in your life. So I do have two piles today. This pile is going to be pile 1 here, and this is going to be pile 2 over here. So for pile 1, I do have, I'm not even gonna lie, like I kind of forgot which stone this was. I want to say it's either a rainbow pyrite or a rainbow hematite, but one of those nonetheless. If you do know and you're like a rock or like crystal stone expert, please comment down below and let me know for just future references. So this is how this stone looks like here, with a little gold background with different colors. And then the second one, we do have a rose quartz. I do not, so I definitely did not forget this one. Simple enough for me to remember. But it's a rose quartz tarot. It's very, 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 as you can see, super light baby pink, which it probably comes up on the camera like as clear to white, but it is a rose quartz nonetheless. It is not a clear quartz. All right, I'm going to give you guys a few seconds kind of to take a few deep breaths in and out and just choose whatever pile kind of draws you in. And of course you can choose both piles. Like I do find in pick card readings that somehow like the energies kind of tie into each other with like the readings, so both of those can resonate, and that's okay. But for the most part, you can choose one to kind of start off there, and I'll give you guys a few seconds. Hey, pile number 1. So if you chose the rainbow stone, I forget if this is a rainbow pyrite or a rainbow hematite, or if it's neither of those two. So let me know again if you know the name of this one in the comments. If you chose this stone, nonetheless, this is your pile. I already prayed and shuffled prior to starting this reading. I have not seen any of these cards yet, so this is going to be all a surprise to both of us. So nonetheless, let's get started. So your card that you got overall, okay, or that they got, is humility. So it says, allow me, divine, to always accept the right assistance. I welcome your help in every way and delight in receiving it. All right. Okay, pile number 1. So this is their card. Right off the bat, I'm already getting kind of like they're becoming aware, or they are aware of how this is a message. I have like it's like kind of like a double type of like message I'm getting. So for them on their side, or just a short little disclaimer, you put the shoe how you see fit, like whoever is on either side. For their side, if this is them, I'm getting kind of like a message of them in regards to ego and how they know or understand how at times that may play a part in their role of things, and how they need to kind of just learn how to listen from like a place of more like intuitive place and like their higher self, versus trying to put that defense up and like operating from there. Now for you, how they currently view you or feel about you, they admire the fact that you're I'm getting someone who's very peaceful and like go with the flow type, and just super humble, and you could have a strong spiritual way about you or practice, or I'm also getting you may also be very like pious, like you're very like religious, and you believe in something that's like greater than yourself, and from that you seek different sources of like knowledge, and you're open to it, and they love that about you. Like they love how you are more like grounded, and like you're accepting of people and things, and maybe of them and their ways as well. I'm kidding. So you're very like a peacekeeping, like open-minded kind of individual. And just real quick, I did like meditate prior to starting your piles reading, and it was random. I don't know if this fits or not, but this is just what I got in the visions. Was first and foremost, it was kind of, it's funny, I see like these different these colorful like blooms and like flowers. I did see like flower heart just like gummy type of vibe, like feel good gummy type of colorful images like that. It was just like different colored flowers, hearts, like sweet, like just things of that nature. So it's funny that I'm already seeing that. And then I also got specifically, it was like a man who kind of was like arms cross folded, kind of like with a grumpy type of facial expression. And then it switched to the man fishing, and they weren't catching anything, and then they kept doing like that same expression with like the arms cross folded and just like grumpy type. So it was kind of like a salty type of look. You take it if that resonates in any which way, and it doesn't have to be a man, it can be a woman, but it just showed me a person, like a character in general. So yeah, let's see how these cards kind of tie into this overall message, and put this right here. So past. Oh, okay. Okay, so I'm already getting a lot of messages. Let's see what the bottom of the deck was. Yo, you guys, I swear on my life, I swear to God, I did not look at the bottom of the deck. I didn't look at anything yet. I purposely did that just so I can have like a fresh like impression and get clear messages from whenever I do each pile. This expression is literally the vision I got. Y'all, I cannot make this up. Okay. And also switch to the scene where the man was like fishing and doing that and kept being like salty. Yo, okay. Ooh, let me reel it back in. No pun intended. Pun intended. Okay, so I'm already getting that. With this pile, it's as if that this person, it's a lot of different things. I'm trying to like sort out how to like verbalize it to you all. So I'm already getting that there's like a big message of like rejection playing a part in this pile here specifically. So again, you put the story how it fits. It can like either been that person that rejected you, or you that rejected them. So you just put it how it fits for your story. This is a general message, so it's going to be different for everyone that comes across this. Okay, so it's like in the recent past, someone, or in the more like distant past, someone. So also, and speaking of distance, this can be someone specifically at a distance, or just indicating that like you all may currently be at a distance. So this could be a no contact to like minimal contact, or someone that you're like in and out, like on and off with. So there could have been an instance where specifically someone made a choice that wasn't you, or you made a choice that wasn't them. Like, again, take it how it resonates. I'm going to speak towards the perspective of how they feel. So they might have made a choice that like ultimately led them on a different path to someone else, due to their like outwardly ways I'm getting for some reason. I don't know why. So, and their ego definitely played a huge part in this situation here. They might have been someone who had a lot of sexual whims, for lack of better purposes. So like they could have been like really active in these streets, basically like sexually, or just very like flirtatious type. And they probably had holes in different area codes, if you get what I'm trying to say. So due to that, along the way, they are in a space where it's like they've like naturally kind of come across different situations where it has either left them in sticky situations and left them hurt, as well as them leaving others hurt. Them leaving others hurt as well along the way. Just heavy. So like naturally them being like in and out, they've had many times where they had to kind of sit and reflect on like their actions, or they really just didn't care to do so all the way, so they kept repeating it to kind of like get away from the situations that they just came out of, and they kept repeating like there's certain cycles and certain ways of themselves. They are headed towards, and they're coming to a place like they're kind of aware that whatever actions or things they said and or did kind of led to the situation that like y'all are in right now at this moment. But they really seen you as very wise, and they feel that you would be someone where they could honestly see this being in a serious way. They know in order to be with you, they would have to make a huge change just in their life and how they are and their thoughts and way of being. So this is giving someone, it's giving someone who like lacked proper guidance, I'm getting as well. But at times they find themselves kind of go within and then just get that chance to separate themselves either from friends or like outside influences or just other people or what have you, and they kind of gain perspective. And then because of, I'm getting for some, maybe even the environment that they're in kind of plays a part and role of their certain beliefs, values, or like the way they move, like whether that be bad or good or just like negative and positive. In this case, more negative than positive, to be real. So they're coming in a place where they're almost having like an ego death. So like heavy on the ego message as well, but they're having like an ego death, and they're going through like a transformation, like again. So of course we go through like a lot of different breakthroughs and transformations. It's not just one during a lifetime, it's a process, right? So they're having one right now. If not, they're heading towards one. And it's really putting things into perspective for them where like they're like kind of like leveling up. It may not be all the way, where they want to and or should be, but they are trying to get up a level from where they were recently like vibrating at. This was spurred on, of course, by a serious event that kind of like humbled them essentially. So I'm getting that they too may have been put into like a situation where it kind of like reflected like their actions towards you or towards like other people in their lives. So they see you as a very forgiving person. You might have given them multiple chances after chances after chances as you're dealing with them or when you were dealing with them throughout time. So that's why I think that's playing into why I was getting the kind of a stop and go connection, like, or like on and off type of person. They're getting more in a space of like awareness of their actions. It's like they were kind of just traveling on like an autopilot, and they let their sexual nature or just like their super like open mind to kind of like lead and guide them, versus kind of taking that and being more discerning and being more cautious and having more sympathy and more more like empathy of the cause and effect of just what they did to you and their actions. That is spurring them to change because they again just recently had a situation where like that kind of drove it across them, where like spirit's trying to like let them know like, yo, like you can't keep moving like this and think that you aren't gonna have consequences towards your actions. So they feel as if you also, you were kind of a good influence on them, so to speak, where they see the way that you yourself might have been trying to practice more positive habits in your life that they noticed, and they see that even at times when you guys would have discussions, and I'm also getting like more like late at night discussions as well. But I'm also, of course, like not just like regular discussion, but I'm also getting that like you guys had this could have been like a friends with benefits type situation, or more sexually spurred, more so, or like it didn't have to be. This could have been an actual relationship that you were with someone, but it was highly sex based. To be honest with you, certain talks that you guys would have just like allowed them the chance to see how wise you were, or the things you learned, or like they really were inspired by that. Like whether they told you that or not, they were very inspired by it. They seen you as like very delicate and just like beautiful, and that's how they felt that you were as a person, or you are as a person, excuse me. It's like they're taking all those things into consideration. Like spirits like having them kind of sit with themselves and like go within. It's given like hermit mode type of like energy to kind of just reflect and draw from different wells of like wisdom, because it seems that this person like could have been around a lot of like distractions, influences, and things of that sort that kind of shaped them in their thoughts. But they're very, the way they see as being spiritual, they themselves, like whether they're aware or not, maybe they are subconsciously, they're very spiritual as well, but they're slowly tapping more and more into that part of them. So they're going through a transformation, a huge one right now, and they're healing as well. but they're being guided, like, nonetheless, to kind of take that space, like whether they're listening to that or not, to kind of take stock of everything, and they're transforming. It's like they're praying, they're trying to add spiritual or religious practices to their day-to-day, and see how that helps. Like, I'm seeing almost someone that's doing like research online, or just stuff, like coming across different, like, just like not self-help videos, but certain like videos and like podcasts that are more healing and positivity geared, that helps them, or the meeting like spirits, putting people like in their pathway who can help them like ascend essentially, or to reach like the next step of their journey in their life. Again, whether they take that or not, free will, that's their decision to do so, but spirit is like definitely trying to work in tandem with this person on their journey, and they feel like they kind of like refer back to you, just as they're going across things as well in this journey. This is a homemade deck that I made like years ago. I found this in an old bag of mine. It seems pretty thin. I kind of feel like there were probably more. It's not a lot of cards, just a few. I don't know, maybe like 10 or 12 if even in here. And again, I might have lost some, but I was kind of pulled to open this deck. Oh, that's y'all. Influences. Okay. I got influences and insecurity. My handwriting is so either you can see it or not. Okay, like, I know it's different. It's a little unique. It's small too. So this is funny. This is what I was getting a lot heavy on, the different influences with this connection with this person, and just how they feel that you also had an influence with them, good, and people that played a part with them, and with this connection that they had with you as well. They knew and they felt, well, now they're come to understanding that they knew and they felt as if that was either a good or bad, or like wasn't the best influences I'm getting. I'm like, obviously. So I wrote on the back, I let outside factors control the outcome of the situation in the past. This is literally the vibe that I'm getting. So they're coming into, so subconsciously they're aware. So whether they act on that, like in the 3D, or I'm sorry, yeah, in the 3D, that's free will. Also, it's a card of like insecurity as well. I don't know if I'm good enough for, nor able to live up to the standards in which you deserve. So this person also could have felt as if, I kept speaking highly of how they seen you. They put you kind of on a pedestal. So I kind of seen you in a very like positive light. Again, like whether they ever like just outwardly told you that or not. I'm getting at some of you that there was a point, if you kind of like remember in like a late night discussion that you guys had, that they kind of not slipped it, but they will say it just in their own way. And they might have mentioned it to you. So that's for some of the collective. You take it how that resonates. So also with the message of like rejection, it's like they kind of played a part of like sabotage, because they kind of subconsciously and like internally felt insecure and that they weren't good enough for you. So maybe that also played a part of them going and like running towards different outside influences, third parties, what have you. You take your story how it fits, whether you know that or not. And that also played a part in maybe the things that they would say to you, or certain like not so great actions that they also showed to you as well. Maybe at times they felt rejected by you unknowingly, unbeknownst to you. So them in turn, they would do actions or say things that made you felt as if they were like rejecting you too. So that's why I got that. So like maybe some of y'all, they also have like an attitude problem. I'm kind of getting back to like the vision that they first initially gave me, like with like the person with the arms crossed, kind of like with a salty look on their face and like a little frown and like grumpy, or like a side eye type of vibe. So they could have had like a slight attitude problem, kind of getting that's a random message for someone. But yeah, that might have played a huge role. Take that how that resonates. And let's see the bottom of this. Spoil. I want to drape you in everything this life and world has to offer. So yeah, like maybe they yeah, maybe they didn't know how to say that or kind of express to you how highly they see you. Like they see you, they put you this. Wow, I'm surprised the Empress didn't come out in this deck, because I'm almost getting like the Empress vibes. They see you as someone who they can literally have like a future with. Like you're someone who they see you as like respectable, or they would love to like, you would be like the wifey type essentially, so to speak, and they would, you know, start a family with you. That's how they see you. They see you so high that they're so insecure. So that also is telling me that they had like a lack mindset as well. Maybe this person quite literally also weren't just like where they have very humble beginnings, and I'm hearing now. They probably didn't have even like the finances to do things for you. You probably also like were the one that contributed. You might not even have like the most, or you probably are in a more stable place in your life, but they even seen that as a threat. Well, they're like their own ego kind of got in the way of that, but essentially like they're understanding that that probably wasn't the case. You were just, you know, you came from like a pure like intent, pure place of care towards them, that you just wanted to help out, or just whatever the case being, and they see you so high like on the pedestal that they just want to be able to be the one to do that. Like they kind of feel like, why were you with them? Like just what's so special about them? Because their own insecurities kind of played a part and would you know, have that in their mind. They probably also had certain like addictions as well. I'm sorry, I'm getting a lot of downloads now. Addictions or certain influences that they probably were like drinking, smoking, had certain vices that contributed to like their like escape. They probably were very like moody, depressed, and were dealing with their own issues. So that kind of course, like naturally would destabilize you and kind of play a part as well in the role. So that can also be like a third party in itself that contributed to this maybe not being the best, but they are transforming, and they feel as if this connection kind of spurred them on more than what they ever had felt like before. So they want to almost show you they're transitioning, but they're working on, spirit is helping them work on their ego and like humbling them and giving them like the courage and the strength to be able to do so and put their pride aside to come to you. So yeah, all right, pile number one, that's all I have for you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe, and please help me grow. And until next time, and pile number two, if that resonates with you, check that out as well. Bye. Hey, pile number two. If you chose pile number two, the rose quartz here, then this is your reading in your pile. Just real quick, by the way, I did just do like a quick little meditation before I started your guys' pile, and it was kind of random, which they always are, but I got basically, it was an individual, it was specifically a man, but it doesn't have to be, it's just a character they kind of just plug in, so you just you just take it how it fits, man, woman, or like whatever, who was kind of like pointing and just like pointing at a person, kind of like it was giving me like I choose you vibes, like choosing. And then the person was kind of like sporadic and had like their tongue out and like just doing like silly like weird faces as well, kind of like just like physically and literally they were like everywhere. When I hold this, it's like I'm holding like the wand, you know, like the old like Disney thing where it's like they trace the little Disney logo and it's like, you're watching, I'm so sorry, the video kind of cut off, but it was like the I'm so and so and you're watching Disney Channel. Like it was like that vibe, like silly different faces. I don't know why they were showing me that. It was pretty random again. But and then towards the end, like the person kind of had a flower and like reached out and like tried to hand it to you, or like whoever. Okay, so anywho, if you chose this pile, let's see what card came out for you. Divine Source. Okay. Help me know that all my deepest needs will be met. Let me trust that you have a plan and the right actions will come. You are my source for all. And this is dope. So it's funny because it was pretty like, sorry, give me a second. I'm getting a lot here. It's like I'm already getting that this pile, like your person, they feel like they were kind of like led to you. I'm getting like different messages. So this is a lot. All right, you take it how it fits, how it resonates for you. So this can, disclaimer as well, this can either be like like your energy to them or theirs to you, but I'm gonna just read it from a place of them to you. Okay, so it's almost given like a, I don't want to sound cliche, but like a love at first sight type of energy, even if it wasn't like super deep in love how it played out with y'all, or just how it is playing out like currently with y'all. They felt as if that you kind of ticked a lot of their boxes of someone that they like ideally would want. It's almost like they kind of like prayed to God with certain signs to get when they seen someone like you. I'm getting, and they also in turn see, this message kind of ties in with pile number 1, so you can check that out and see how that kind of fits with you. But they're getting that you're someone who you're also very like faithful, like in a sense of you could be like a religious or like a spiritual. I'm getting like a spiritually like inclined type of individual as well. Like you're very like trusting of the universe and God or just whatever you believe in, and how things all naturally work out in like a divine sense of like order. They're very trusting towards you and like your guidance or your sense of discernment and your judgment here. So again, kind of like pile number 1, they kind of see you in a very high way. That's how they currently feel about you. I'm getting a lot. Something about your hair I'm also getting they like. This is very specific. They put you up on a pedestal, so definitely look at the first one. They're very trusting of how you are. You could be a very calm, peaceful, like chill type of person, but like once they kind of got to know you, like they felt like, okay, you were kind of able to be like a little, like they'll kind of catch like spurts of you showing like you're a little crazy here and there, but like in a good way. They feel like you're very, something about you is so delicate and calm, but you're very in your own, like you're trusting and you're very like intuitive and aware. Okay, let me pull out the cards here. Okay. And then let's see what the bottom of the deck energy was. Okay, yeah. Yep. Sorry, give me a second here. So like off rip, I'm getting that they definitely seen you as someone, and like I mentioned before with this card when I seen this, your level of awareness and like your intellect. I'm also getting kind of like a regal, very like authoritative vibe towards you. So again, maybe like when y'all were first like meeting, you were very more just like chill and more cool, like on the surface type of vibe, and you probably wouldn't show like yourself all the way yet until you got more comfortable with them. That's how they feel about you, or they felt about you. You maybe have been a little bit too aloof for them, for their liking, because only to the extent of like they couldn't really like read you and get like a read of how you felt towards them. So that in turn kind of made them like mirror you to kind of be a little more cool on the surface as well. So they kind of like dance with you and like in tango to see how you made a move, they'll make a move like accordingly to you. They feel as if you're someone that they can really speak to, really just like sit down and have a good conversation with. They learn a lot from you. They really haven't had that in someone that it can really reach like different depths of wells of like knowledge and like just like a lot of like wisdom from you, and like they respect and appreciate that about you. Like you're very clear in thought and communication. Like you might be very direct in things that you say. So even though you may not have spoke like a lot or just too outwardly at times, it's like what you did, you were very clear and cut in communication of the things, of just how you felt about certain things or certain opinions, or if they asked you a question, you just kind of was real and gave it to your best ability to them. Didn't try to sugarcoat it, so to speak. They do feel like you're someone that you're a go-getter and you're very resilient. They feel like you're very like resilient, and because of like your sense of like faithfulness and your faithfulness, like you have like a higher trusting, and they almost feel as if like you have like a higher knowing, so to speak. So they definitely felt as if even if they probably didn't all the way believe in like spirituality in a certain sense, it's like they kind of knew you're a very like intuitive person, or like even during certain conversations, like they felt as if, or like you probably just told them or share with them certain things or certain dreams or certain signs or things you will see and how that will correlate to certain like day-to-day things, and they kind of got the hint that, okay, this one may be a little bit different. I don't want to say weird, but different to them, for those, just depending on like their level of spirituality and how much they understand, but they definitely seen that and felt that within you. And yeah, again, with kind of similar to pile number one, it's like the same thing they seen in you, they too like almost kind of have and possess, like whether like they're like aware of that or not. um and like I'm also getting that they, in the recent past or in like the distant past, you kind of take it how that resonates. Oh, and also this could, same with partner one, this could be someone that can be at a distance, or you guys, and or you guys could currently be at like an emotional distance, so you take that how that resonates. But they too could have been kind of a little bit playing it safe, like I said earlier, so like that kind of like led them to be kind of more cold and like aloof. They might have not been looking to get too serious or too deep with anyone or like with you. They understand like kind of like how they were being now, but I think they were just doing that out of defense and playing it safe. So just trying to not be like rejected, or just out of like insecurity and not knowing like where they stood in this connection. So they kind of played by ear and action. That could have caused them to seek outwardly as well. So they could have also been a little influenced by like outer factors or people or things I'm getting. So like third party sources, like whether that be like other people partners or just like friends or just different things or different people that was around them. So they were kind of closed off towards you, or they just didn't give too much of themselves. Maybe like at times they would, and they would be okay with just like being direct and like telling you and just sharing with you like what they thought, like more so than how, or certain things that they felt, and they were just real about it, and like it would kind of catch you off guard at times because you were like, oh, like I didn't expect that from that person. But yeah, they love how you're just so like intellectuals who's like they kind of like you give them like a, it's like an ethereal type of vibe, like you're like not from this world, like so kind of like a worldly type of view like I'm kind of getting from you. They love that you're very, you might be someone that travels or you travel a lot. They love that you're very unlike worldly, so to speak, as well. That you are accepting of people in different walks of life or like different cultures or just different whatever, and like you've experienced things that maybe people don't get a chance to a lot, so to speak, too. So they love that how you're also like trying to hone in, and you might have shared with them like your certain goals or certain plans that you have for yourself, how you put that work in, and like no matter what, I'm getting that you guys kind of face certain like challenges that they might have been aware of, not maybe to like a full extent, but to some extent, and how you're still like determined to press forth and press forward, just like within your path and your journey with that. Like regardless of your circumstances or like your situation, that you don't let things kind of just like easily keep you down for too long. And that's when again your sense of faith like kind of kicks in at that point, and like that as well kind of, it like inspires them like in their journey and path to do the same as well. I'm seeing that they maybe kind of, if you guys are at a standstill or just the communication is at like a minimal, they may have or may be going in place to kind of like, they're like waiting for a sign from you to kind of like see if they should press forward not with this, or they've been in like a waiting phase. They may have different options, or they're coming to like a more clear cut decision on how to press forth with this, or whether they should or not. So they're kind of just, I'm getting like, it's like a contradicting energy. So you take that how this resonates. For some of the collective, I'm getting that they're kind of like getting geared up and like determined to just come forth to you. I'm getting 929. Well, like I'm seeing that like 929. So I don't know if that has any significance to y'all. And for some of them, they're kind of waiting on like a sign to see, or they're just like, they're praying to God, trying to get clarity on how to go forth with the situation with you. So I was guided, like, this is like a few years back, to like make this homemade little deck that I had like recently found like in a bag of mine. It's just a few cards. It's probably like 10, 12. Like, I'm not sure how many. I kind of feel like I'm like missing a few from this deck, but I don't know. But I was kind of like guided to pull this out for this reading, to pull a card from, and let's just see how that ties in, or any extra messages that we need to hear for this pile and how this ties in. Okay, these are harder to shuffle. Obviously, they're like little note cards. But yeah, they kind of feel like led to you in some way. Like, they see this as like very soulmate-y, like divine, like you guys are meant to be type of energy. But whether they act on it or not, that's free will. Everyone is different. But subconsciously, they felt like a deep inner knowing, almost, so to speak, that like you could be someone in a serious way in their future. Okay, that's a lot. I'm not gonna lie, that's a lot. I'll keep this one because it came out first. Influences. Okay, that's fun. This came out for part number 1 too, so again, check that reading out. But yeah, this could have definitely been a situation where different third parties or like outside things played a part in this, which caused a breakdown or a slowing down of this connection for sure. But I'll read the back of that in a second. Let me grab a little more. Okay, they are wanting to jump. It's a lot. Okay, I'll keep these two, and the ones that fell out, I'll leave them out. Okay, so I'm getting influences, acceptance, and repentance. Ignore my handwriting. I know it's tiny and it's a little, yeah, it's a little different. So with influences, it says, I let outside factors control the outcome of this situation in the past. So yeah, this is just further like acknowledging how that might have led to like a breakdown with y'all. So again, take your story how it fits. It could have been third party, like whether that be partners or different people like in their ear, friends or just whatever. But again, similar to pile number 1, it's kind of like they had like a lack of proper guidance. So like when they had that encounter with you, or like as they do, like with this current or this happened already, you kind of help them to transform a bit and to get like a deeper knowing and learn from like a different perspective that they're not accustomed to. So acceptance, surrendering, patiently going through process/cycle. So yeah, this is similar to pile number 1 actually. So yeah, they're in a place where they kind of like go back and forth with certain talks that y'all had in the past. They maybe even might look at certain texts, or they just kind of think about certain things that stuck with them, that they kind of like learned, and spirit and God is trying to like guide them to just take some time out to like go within and just like help them maneuver through like more positive like influences, and to listen and trust like their higher sense of self and their higher sense of like knowledge and like their wisdom as well, and to just be determined on staying on that path and not get distracted from like the outside influences. And we have repentance. Please forgive me truthfully. So yeah, they may want to come and communicate, and they don't know. They're trying to wait for like a sign again, like I said, but it could have been something that like kind of led, like once again from outside, that kind of led to like the breakdown within the connection with you guys. So they feel as if they want to apologize, and you do deserve that from them. But they're just trying to figure out how to, and they're praying for guidance, or they're actually getting like mentor or some like counsel from someone. I'm getting like a more like older person in their life, not old, but like it doesn't have to be. So this could be like their just like their OG, or like a certain like friend, a cousin, sister, brother, uncle, parent, grandparent, like just whatever. they are seeking counsel from someone outside themselves and getting like advice on how to go about this situation with you from someone they trust. Just want to look at the bottom of the deck. It says marriage. Yeah. I truly want to be in a union with you in every sense, by my side till we die. So yeah, they feel that deep sense of like union and like spiritual connection with you, where they have like a knowing that like you would be like the ideal person for them to like marry, and that would like help them. Again, I said this I think with Power One, but I'm surprised like the Empress like the Empress or the Emperor energy didn't come out, because that's what it's kind of giving again. Just I'm kind of curious. It says eternal. I want this forever. So yeah, I didn't even realize that I accidentally pushed this deck over, and like the Emperor is coming up here. So yeah, it's like you're preparing them, or like they see you in like a high way like that. And again, this can also like represent like that person like in their life that's trying to help guide them through the situation too. And they're also working on I see the Strength card, like their own ego, and they're getting clarity on how to fix like their past wounds and things of that nature as well. So yeah, that's interesting. So definitely check out pile number 1 and see how those kind of tie in for you. But thank you so much, pile number 2. That was your reading. I pray these messages kind of help you along the way in your path and give you some clarity and some healing as well. And please like, share, and subscribe, and please help me grow. And until next time, bye.